Hello, friends. Yeah, today's video, kind of wanted to get into living from moment to moment. I know in the past, I think I made a couple video, or maybe no, I did make a video about saying like, what if we lived, or what if each day was like a lifetime? Um, Obviously, it's not because every day we wake up and we're still here with the same body. But I guess it was more. It was to speak more to like I don't want to say living life to the fullest, but maybe to bring a different energy to the day or mindset or purpose um, to each day. I'd noticed like when thinking back on life and stuff like that, uh, life or things lose. I don't want to say lose meaning, but things get lost because the end date is not like a visible date. But if you knew like at 12 midnight the day is over, then you would move differently, right? You would have more purpose, maybe with more intent, something to that effect. So that's kind of what like I was getting to with like what if each day was a life, and then we wake up and the next morning we could reset and make changes, if we fell short in how we wanted to live our life in that day. um, but I even went a step further, and I broke it down to living from moment to moment. And I guess a lot of it was because of the retreat that I came back from, and Debbie Freebird's event of being present. And it really, I think it really made a big impact on me and brought more purpose, or focus to the way I live my life currently, which is to always be present in each moment. So if I'm doing something, then that's all that I'm doing. And um I don't want to say I'm perfect or anything like that, but I'm getting, you know, I think we've been back for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month, I don't know. But in that time frame, when since I've, you know, incorporated that or adopted that mindset of being 100% present, I think, as time goes on, I'm getting better and better at doing it. Sometimes it's super easy to be 100% present, and then there's other times where it becomes uh more of a practice, like more of a focus to stay um within that moment only. But it's getting easier and easier as time goes on, and um what I found is uh things are more fulfilling. um I retain more, I capture more. um yeah, it feels like time isn't lost anymore. Like, I don't know, I guess because in the going back to like living each day as a life, it's like, you know that there's a completion with that. And the same thing goes for when you live in the moment. There's a completion, and you have a start and an end, and it's more immediate, so you can be more focused. And then when the next moment comes, then you can reset. Um, yeah, so that's what I've been doing ever since Sedona. I don't even remember what it was, but yeah, I think it's a well for me. It's worked out really well. Um, I don't know. There's so many changes going on. Some people will say it's what was it, the 7-Eleven portal, or moving from whatever 5D to 7. Now we're in 7D or something like that. I don't get. I don't focus on that kind of stuff. It's just too much information for me to process, and so I think the simpler I keep things, the more manageable they are for me. But a lot of those are just my limitations, uh, or my constructs that I have to, I choose to adhere to, just so that I can process a little easier. Less is more, I guess, for me is better for me. But a lot of you guys are rock stars, and have been in this game for a lot longer than 2 years, like myself. But yeah, a lot of things have changed, and I don't know if I can attribute that to being present all the time, or as you know the other thing was, Kevin had mentioned in a talk with me about not attaching myself to the outcome. So that was the other the other the other motto uh, that I adopted for myself was to not attach myself to any outcomes. So whatever happens, happens, or whatever becomes of it, or whatever it is, and or I just deal with it. Um, that has had a huge impact in my life, as far as like I've noticed the things that I've noticed were like avoiding confrontation, um, not getting my feelings hurt. Um, Yeah, so I think it's helped me avoid a lot of nonsense or things that I don't want to be a part of. And so I don't know if that's a part of, if that change is a part of like why things seem to be more fulfilling, or more gratifying, or more rewarding, or just easier. It's very interesting though, because it just feels like life since Sedona has become more freeing, uh, lighter. Um, my intuition and mediumship has like improved like tenfold. I don't know. I'm not even trying at times. It just comes. I don't have to like. I don't want to say forced issue, because you can't do that, but before it was like, oh, you got to do this, and then you got to do this, and then once you finish that, then you know you, you hope. Uh, but now it's just different. Things are different. You take a couple breaths, and you're closer to that mindset or frequency, um, where all that stuff lives. And so it doesn't take nothing really to get into that space. Um, but I just it, I just find it interesting. So many things are happening so fast. Not to complain or anything. It's just It's very interesting. And I'm not to say that, oh, because I changed my mindset, my life is perfect. I would say to the contrary. My life has changed and it hasn't changed. So I still have the same responsibilities, the same um the same thing that I had before Sedona. So I still have my bills, I still have my family, health issues, um, friends and family, all that stuff. Um, but I guess because my focus, not focus, but I guess the optics, the way I look at things have changed. Um, I don't feel stressed out about stuff. Like I understand, like there's weight, there's pressure, but I don't. It when I feel it because I don't want to live in that space. I'm I move on from it. I transform from it. Uh, so like I acknowledge it right away. So like that's what I guess what I was trying to get at was like, when the bills come up, the bills come due, or it's time to cook dinner, or now somebody's sick. Uh, I acknowledge those feelings uh, right away. As soon as I notice them, I'll acknowledge those feelings, whether it's fear, anxiety, stress, but then I move on from it. I don't attach myself to them, and I think that's what's become freeing about living from moment to moment. The other thing too is like by doing. I see. I don't know if it's because I live this way, or if it's just because it's a matter of the times now. Like I don't know if it's me or if it's the universe or maybe it's both. I don't know, but there's so many synchronicities going on that it's it's pretty hard to keep up with all of them. I remember when in the past when I saw or noticed a synchronicity, oh, I was so charged up and I would write it down and be like, oh yeah, this happened, and now it's like, oh yeah, that's a synchronicity. And then like 2 moments later, "Oh, that's a synchronicity. I just thought of that," or that was a plan or a thought or something, and now I'm hearing about it. It's very interesting. I don't know where to attribute it to, but, I don't know. It's really cool to realize, uh, or to be, uh, in change, and, it feels like I didn't really do much. Like, it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. Um, I mean, yeah, I went to a retreat and everything, and I don't wanna say, um, because of the retreat, I'm a different person. I think because of what I learned and realized, um, and implemented, I'm a different person. But I don't think those 2 necessarily go hand in hand, right? I don't think just because you go somewhere doesn't mean you makes you a different person. I think, like what you retain, what you capture, what you're willing to move forward with, uh, whatever difference you're trying to make, no matter even how small it is, that's what makes you a changed person. Um, I think what's interesting too is I'm starting to spiral again. Um, just noticing, like going from moment to moment, I notice like I'm a changed person, but I do revert back to old ways sometimes. But then I acknowledge that, and then I can move forward from it. I guess. I guess like one of the gratifying things is realizing to not hold on to things you don't want to hold on to. And for me, that's emotions or feelings. I don't know which one comes first, like emotions or feelings, like what drives what, but I just know like whenever for me, my feelings and emotions drive or drove my personality or who I was and how I reacted to things. And I guess I always tried to be lighthearted, um, have a good sense of humor, and always laugh as much as possible. Maybe be a little bit of a jokester, um, just to live in an energy or space that I felt comfortable with. But then when something happened to like pull me out of it, sometimes I would get stuck in it. And I think now I'm in a space where I can realize that. I can realize when that happens and then transform that or process that and then transform it and then move on from it. And I think that's probably a big win for myself. But yeah, I just I don't know why I've been there's so many things that like have been happening that I'm like, oh wow. Um and I was trying to like attribute it to something. I guess basically it's the synchronicities and stuff. Um I've been recognizing it more and more frequently. Um where I have a thought like, oh, I should call this person. In the past, I was like in the past I would always say, that's very nice. You don't need to call that person. Just let them be, right? And so, like for instance, I had a thought, oh, you should call or you should text so and so just see how they're doing. And then I find out like, oh, something happened, and it's like, wow, what if I, you know, good thing I listened. Um, or I had a thought, oh, you should do this, and I'm like, I don't even know how to do that. I've never done that before. And then, I was like, but that's a limiting thought. Spirit will figure it out for you. All you have to do is just be present. And sure enough, the opportunity came and I was like, wow. I kind of went into a little bit of fear at first, like, oh no, I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. And then I recognized it and I just let it go. And I said, if it's gonna happen, or if it's meant to be to happen, then it's gonna happen. And it the opportunity came. I threw caution to the wind and I said, Jesus, take the wheel. He took the wheel, and it was a good thing. And it's just stuff like that. It just feels good, to experience those things that are always happening. But I guess because my mind was so clouded by other things, I never realized it. I never realized all the good things that were happening to me or for me or through me. Um, until I made my awareness available to capture these moments. And so I hope that everybody else can experience that. If you're not experiencing that, maybe just change one thing, the way you look at something, or maybe learn to pause um, before you react to something or anything. Maybe give yourself like a 2 second, 3 second, gap so that you could capture your breath or really think something through. Um, I don't know. It just might be the shift that you need um, to have the realizations that you want. I think it's, I kind of think like this has always happened for me and for us, but we just weren't aware of it, because our focus was in different places on different things. And it wasn't it probably wasn't at the same frequency that it's happening at, and so we were always blind to it. Um, it's I guess one last thing about moments and stuff like that. Moments can be like immediate, like you're having a conversation with somebody, that's one moment, and then there's it ends, or you're watching this video and then once I hit end it's over and that's it. But then I guess there's sometimes where other moments are longer than others, and even though, like, maybe like this topic, right? I brought it up a few videos ago and now it's here. So maybe this moment of the moment of this train of thought um is not complete, and it's probably going to come up again in the future. And I can't remember where I heard it from, but somebody said, maybe it was Sterling. I think it was probably Sterling. He had mentioned that sometimes in spirit, moments are not instant. Moments can take a year in time, like in our time it could take a year. And I th- I almost, oh, I don't want to say I almost fell out of my chair, but it really struck me. It struck me pretty hard when he said that, because I'm looking at a moment of, you know a conversation, uh, a football game, a baseball game, a movie, watching whatever show or something like that, like cooking dinner, that's a moment, something like that. But for a moment to be like over a year long, wow, like I can't even comprehend that. But then I guess I guess maybe why I'm blown away is because I never thought of the possibility of a moment could be that long. But maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I go all over the place. Uh, sorry. So I'll just end it there, um, before I spiral too far out. So thank you all for watching. Uh, Please let me know what you think in the comments, about this topic, or what helps you manage time, like time, not wristwatched. Well, maybe wristwatch time, but but yeah. Anyways, I guess you guys know what I'm trying to say. Uh, Thank you. I'll stop here.